Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. It's like our little talk show. Have a seat.
Absolutely, and I get the right before lunch session,
Yeah.
so, you know.
Your head is going to turn into a turkey leg for many of these people before too long.
I'll try to be concise.
Let's talk a little bit about Enova on deck, because there are some people who perhaps are very familiar with what you do, but some who are just learning about you. What's the elevator pitch when people say, oh, you work there? What do you do?
Absolutely. I think you did a great job of teeing it up, but Enova is an online lender to both consumers and small businesses. We've been doing this a long time, listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and have extended over $50 billion in funding through our online process. It's very user-friendly to consumers and small businesses that are often underserved by traditional financial institutions. The small business arm of Enova is On Deck. That's what I am a part of. On Deck has extended $13 billion of loans to small businesses over its lifetime to many different industries. We lend to about 800 different industries and across the U.S. So that is what our mission is, and our core customer is really your Main Street small business. And we can talk a little bit more about that, but it's your ice cream shop, your hardware store, your dentist office, that type of thing that go and apply to us and looking for capital, and we can provide it very quickly.
Let's talk a little bit. I'm going to turn a little toward you. We're going to get really intimate here.
There we go.
I know very, very little about anything in this sector. I know a lot of these folks. I was just talking with a business owner backstage, and when I mentioned, oh, we're going to go talk about funding and getting loans, it's like, oh, okay, this is a daunting topic, but it's one that everybody needs to deal with. I would think, oh, well, the big banks you could go to because they have deep, deep pockets, and they would just happily give you a loan and collect an interest rate on it, but that's not necessarily the case. So why do a lot of these small business owners likely run into some trouble when trying to secure a loan from a big bank?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's really around who the big banks tend to like to service. And they tend to gravitate towards a larger customer versus the bicycle shop that needs a loan of $40,000, $50,000, which is really in our wheelhouse. Those businesses are what we're designed to serve. We're able to provide that online application that they can apply for after business hours. They don't have to go into a bank branch, and they can get a quick decision in a matter of minutes and funding as soon as the next day. It's very difficult for the traditional financial institutions that leverage more traditional underwriting to make those decisions very expediently. And then often at the end of that process, it's a no in terms of extension for credit.
We talked a little bit earlier today about artificial intelligence, and we've talked a lot about technology and how it's moving things forward. So one of the ways that really sets you up for success at On Deck at Enova is you can, like you just said, you can process a loan, get them a yes or a no really quickly. And I bet that's very exciting for some people who need that money. Your business needs it in a pinch. But let's talk to the other side of that group, which might feel like, boy, I love how quickly I can get the yes, but I'm also a little bit scared because what if a question pops up along the way? Is there someone that I can connect with who might be able to walk me through some of the intricacies of getting that loan?
100%. That's a great question. We have a large sales team that talks to customers all day long. Our average loan size is around $50,000 to $60,000, so it's not super small. We definitely go smaller, and we go larger as well. But for our first-time customers in particular, and most customers take several loans with us over their lifetime to respond to different needs that they have. Many on that first loan want to call in and get the process explained to them. How does this work? I have questions about.
They need therapy, Cory. Everybody's scared out there.
They want that human touch.
Sure,
so you combine the speed of delivering a quick decision with that human touch, and you hit on how the speed of the decision is so important. We find to small business owners, it's often a yes, but it's sometimes a no. But that no has value too. If you can know that, okay, this is maybe not an option for me, you can move on to plan B or plan C. Getting that information has a lot of value.
What are some of the myths that are out there? Do you encounter when you deal with small business owners, people who are looking for funding? I would imagine that at least somebody in the room at some point feels like, boy, we could really use some extra capital right now. Here's why, but they're afraid to click the mouse because, there's so much skin in the game here for the businesses that they run. Do you encounter any myths where when you finally talk to these people, you're like, oh, no, we can help you with that?
We do less and less over time. I think people were gravitating more and more to doing things online pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic really accelerated that push that people got even more comfortable doing things online, and it's frankly just so convenient and easy to apply for that loan, after hours, when it's convenient for you, during a weekend, and then get the answer. There's a Fed survey that looked at the average bank traditional financial process, and they found that it took 26 hours of a small business owner's time, not 26 hours from end to end, but actually 26 hours over a matter of several weeks. And at the end of that time, the answer was often no. You were declined for credit. And so getting that real-time feedback of, yes, this is a funding option, I can talk to someone if I want to, or if I don't, I can just go straight through. And then getting the capital as quickly as the same day is very valuable to small businesses, we've found.
It sounds like a pretty quick process as is, but if small business owners turn to you all for funding, they get approved, and then they get the decision quickly. For subsequent lending, it's already streamlined, but does it become even easier? Because then you've done the background check. You know what you're looking at financially with these businesses that you're lending to.
It's even easier. Once we know the small business, it's much easier to do that second, third loan. We've had customers take over 20 loans. I should have mentioned that our two products are traditional term loan product, about a year in duration on average, but we also have a line of credit product that customers are able to access and draw down and repay and draw down and repay. And over time, as we get more comfortable with the customer and the repayment, we can increase that line size.
I bet somebody's wondering, well, wait, how small of a loan can I ask for, or how big of a loan can I ask for? And this is maybe a point of differentiation as well with you compared to some of the big banks. What's the loan range that you generally deal with? I know you said the average is around 50.
Average is around 50. We could go as small as 5 and as big as 250. Most of the larger banks like to do something with a lot more zeros than that, which makes sense in many cases for that business model because, as I talked about, their underwriting process is very labor intensive. It costs them a lot to go through that process on their end, and so doing that larger loan is more of what they like to target than the $50,000 loan to the ice cream shop.
Talk a little bit about, too, especially in the automated world, which, as we said, is a double-edged sword. It's a beautiful thing. It happens really quick. You get the answer, and that's the most important. But the heart of the mission with you all at On Deck and at Enova, it's got to be pretty cool. I mean, as I'm here in this room with all of these small business owners, when I tell you, when we chat throughout the day, like, I'm just so impressed with you all, I genuinely mean this because it is just such a commitment to trying to make these businesses work to better the communities that we live in. So just truly kudos to all of you who do that. I would imagine, since you're involved in such an important part of their small business journey, funding and getting the money to make the dream come true, that's got to be a pretty rewarding spot for you all at Enova to just sit back and say, like, we're funding dreams.
Yeah, I've been at Enova now for 13 years this month, joined after the great financial crisis where no one was lending to small business, like full stop. It's so rewarding to see small businesses grow and thrive. I don't want to put what we're doing at On Deck ahead of the business owner. We're a partner. It's the business owner who's out there that's driving, that's the hero, that is really being able to enhance their community, their customers, their employees. And we provide an ingredient to that, an important one, we think. But that's our mission, and empowering the small businesses themselves to let them grow their business is so rewarding to watch.
I'm curious too. Has anyone run into a block, like when you've tried to reach out for funding? Has anyone seen closed doors come in their face at any given point? Yeah, okay. And like, I could only imagine a pretty brutal part of that process when it's like we're so close, what we need is the capital, and then you can't get it. So adding to that, the idea that also, not only, yes, generically, you're helping small businesses to make dreams come true in many ways, but also when you realize that what you do is a yes where maybe they got a no before because there weren't enough commas involved in the loan. That's got to be a pretty enjoyable part of the job.
That is. We have frequently we have small business owners come and talk to our team, and it's so inspiring to hear their stories about how they've done all kinds of different things. And as I said, we've loaned to 800 different industries across the U.S. And so you see these stories that are so powerful. And the resilience of the small businesses. Small businesses right now are facing, I view, a bit of a credit crunch. We survey our small businesses. We get, lots and lots of applications and are reviewing small businesses. But between inflation, which I think is having a disproportionate impact on small business, and a tighter / more expensive labor market / supply costs that are coming in, the small business owners, I think, are a little bit more challenged than we've seen in the past because those input costs are higher, and it's been probably more difficult. And you're the ones out there doing it, but passing that cost on effectively to your customers is something maybe you can't do or don't want to do or fear doing because you'll lose the customer. And so that's a challenging thing that while we love empowering them with the growth story, we're also empowering the small business owner to get through that cash crunch situation at times too. So there's both sides of the coin there.
Two more quick questions before we get you out of here and we get all of you to lunch. The first is pretty basic, but the best place for folks who are like, okay, I need to connect with them, best place for them to connect with you is what?
Our website, ondeck.com.
Ondeck.com, nice and simple. And then finally, maybe what would you have to say to the small business owners out there who likely feel a bit of trepidation when it comes time to clicking submit? You're trying to get that loan, and I bet some people sort of hang on the sidelines and delay fueling their small business because there's a lot of fear, and reasonably so. What would you say to those folks?
Yeah, that's a great question. The ticket size here is like buying a pretty expensive car, so a lot of customers do take a pause and want to think about it, talk to someone at OnDeck. But also, one of the things that we've been a leader at for a long time is disclosure and transparency. We give the small business owner all the key metrics to understand their loan, not only their repayment schedule, their total payback, their APR, what it's going to cost, each month, and any lender who's not providing you with a very clear readout of exactly what this looks like and is willing to talk you through the process is someone you may want to be a bit weary of, because it is a big decision, and understanding how everything works in a very clear and simple way is something we've been always committed to doing, and we think it's the right thing for our customers.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a warm round of applause for Cory Kampfer from OnDeck at Enova. Cory, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much.